Sooners, coming off back-to-back 20-win seasons, host the reigning champions of the Northeast Conference, the St. Francis Red Flash. And great to be alongside Boo Williamson once again. I'm Chad McKee. Returning NCAA tournament teams, yes, but Oklahoma, 4 new starters. St. Francis, only 1 player on the roster who even played in the NCAA tournament last year. Therefore, what are these first few games about?
I think what we're going to see, Chad, is Coach Moser and Coach McConnell. They've been talking and harping on identity since June. So guess what? It's 3rd of November. It's here. We're going to see what both of these teams are about.
Saw St. Joseph's transfer Xavier Brown for Oklahoma, Atlantic 10 first team season ago. How important is he to Oklahoma this year?
Well, Coach Moser wants him to be the X that was at St. Joe's, 18, 5, and 4. He just wants him to step it up on that defensive end.
And that's Chris Moncrief, the only guy on this roster who played in the NCAA tournament for St. Francis a season ago. Underway in the season opener at the Lloyd Noble Center. A lot of new faces. Mohamed Wagee, really the only guy from last year's roster who's in there for Oklahoma. And the first deuce of the night will go to Tate Davis, the Notre Dame / Seton Hall transfer.
Elite athlete is what Coach Moser said. You can see why he calls him that. Straight line, rip drive with that right hand and straight to the rack.
Averaged 15 and 5 for the Fighting Irish a season ago. It's a crossover by Brandon Russell. True freshman at 6'5", 185. And up high to block that shot was Nigel Pack. No shot clock reset. They got 5 to squeeze one off. Out in the passing lane, the tip by Tate Davis. And it's going to be a shot clock violation. That's what this Oklahoma team should be able to do with the mobile athleticism and length that they have, Pooh.
Well, Coach Moser talked about wanting Nigel Pack, who is a veteran player, obviously, but talked about becoming a dog was the word he used, and a two-way player that plays defense. And he started his season off as a Sooner the right way with that block, Chad.
Now it gets a little screen from Mohamed Wagee. Xavier Brown he's cut off inside. Kick out 3 this time. And Darion Reed misses the first try. Racing the other way, Zion Russell, redshirt senior guard for the Red Flash. Moncrief and Russell. You've got Brandon and Zion Russell, no relation. And a 3 that rains home from the left wing. St. Francis could use a lot more than that here in the first half.
Skylar Wicks is built to score, Chad. I remember watching this guy when he was an Incarnate Word. He can put it in the hole.
Yeah, Wicks was the last guy that Luke McConnell signed in this recruiting class. But Incarnate Word, as you said, had a very good year. Then UTSA last year, not quite as much. Right,
and I can remember, like I said, watching him on a Saturday afternoon in Tulsa, Oklahoma, covering that game, and man, was he lighting it up. Where he averaged 14 and 6 down in in Incarnate Word, because both of them are in San Antonio.
Just a couple miles apart. 3-2 Red Flash, that poked away by Xavier Brown. Here comes Reed. Nice hit ahead. Brown reverses one up and in, and the Sooners grab a 4-3 lead.
Very good pass right there. Very unselfish play by Darion. And again, Brown doing Brown things. He can put it in the hole. And what do they say? What can Brown do for you? Brown can put it in the hoop.
Tate Davis, the steal for the Sooners. Oklahoma already a couple of takeaways. And that foul's going to be charged to Brandon Russell, freshman from Hamilton, New Jersey.
And this was just a great unselfish play by Reed right there. Bounce pass is a finishing pass, and Brown with the dipsy-do, a little up and under, used the basket to protect himself, goes up and finishes.
So 4 new starters, but all guys with prior starting experience at other places for Porter Moser and the Sooners. There's a giveaway that's taken by Justin Liberis, and a quick Oklahoma foul brings Porter Moser down the sidelines. Really excited about this team. He said, had him for a long time. You get 8 weeks in the summer, August through November. You can be around each other. They've bonded. There's been absolutely no guys that expected things or were entitled, and they've really gelled in the early going. Barris trapped down in the low post. Davis got a hand on that. It'll be a sideline throw in with 16 to shoot. Porter Moser's really excited about this team. They've got guys experienced. What they did in the portal, Pooh, was they went out and found the pieces that they needed. They didn't just take guys. They took what they wanted.
That's exactly right. What he said was they have maturity. I mean, this team has an air or a feel of maturity about them. And it starts with that transfer portal group of 4 that he brought in, Chad.
Niagara transfer. Zion Russell rims that one in. Began his collegiate career at Northern Illinois, and then last year at Niagara.
That was a nice finish. Right-hand drive, high and soft off the glass. Nice kiss.
Tate Davis attacks off the dump down pass from Brown.
Did I say kiss? Because Tate Davis took it right in and kissed it high and soft himself with that right-hand drive and a nice teardrop finish.
This is Brandon Russell. Mo Wagee sends it right back at him. Look at the big fella. Take it off the dribble. Brown drops down the first Sooner three of the night.
That is what this guy can do. Number one, Xavier Brown. Averaged 18, 5, and 4, Chad. I mean, he is just wired to put the ball in the hoop.
Sooners made 11 threes in their exhibition win on the road against a top 25 Wisconsin team. They've got guys that have a track record of being three-point makers like Brown.
You want three-point makers, not just three-point takers. And talking to Coach Moser, he talked about wanting Brown and Nigel Pack to become two-way players and play on that defensive end. And both of those young men have blocked shots right now, stepping up on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, Brown getting that one. Red flash shuffling the deck. Ahmad Harrison, a Fordham transfer, senior, enters the lineup for the first time tonight. Out top to Moncrief. 10 to shoot for the red flash. That's Harrison, just checked in. They run Zion Russell off the three-point line, and he teardrops one down.
Big-time basket. That is the second little high and soft floater we've seen Zion Russell, and that seems to be deep in his bag right there, Chad. A shot he's comfortable with.
Luke McConnell said that's what they targeted in him, his ability to get shots off in the paint. Here's Nigel Pack. Baseline Davis off the window and in. Creation by Nigel Pack.
I was just going to say the same thing. Davis with the finish, but give Pack all the credit for creating that and spoon beating his teammate.
11-7 Sooners. Zion Russell off the mark with that one. Here comes Xavier Brown. Sooners won't be afraid to push the tempo. Nigel Pack squeezes one off and hits it. Nigel Pack, the double transfer from Kansas State and Miami, has the last two plays for the Sooners.
Sooner fans get used to that because that is something that he can do with the best of them. This is an experienced guy. He started 121 of 122 career games, Chad.
Final four run with Miami 2 seasons ago, then sidelined by injury for the most part last year. Nigel Pack now in Oklahoma City. Nearly a travel. Somehow Moncrief got that one away. Another rebound here for Tate Davis. 3-ball Brown. Strong. Right to the hands of Pack. Jeff Wankwo. And bounds up and over and out of bounds for the Sooners. We got a timeout. Let's catch our breath. Like what we've seen in the early going. We talked about Xavier Brown. He's made a difference already, Boo.
Chad, what can Brown do for you? That is a nice finish on one end. Block party on the other. ACC Miami. These guys are all what he was looking for. Some experience in the backcourt, some length in the front court, guys that can play multiple positions and do multiple things.
Now, the other thing the Sooners have is they've got 3 players who transferred in before last year but did not play. Jeff Wankwo, Jadon Jones. They are here, although we likely won't see Jadon Jones tonight. He'll be back soon as he's kind of coming back from an injury. And then Kawal Atak is another guy that we're going to see here tonight who can really shoot the three. But he sat out last year, did a talk just to get stronger. He's grown from 6'7.5" to 6'9" and 170 pounds to 195 pounds. He'll be coming off the bench shortly.
And he does what you love, Chad. Lets it fly.
Amen.
Can't wait to see him tee it up.
Substitutions here. Jeff Wankwo mentioned him. He is in there. We also see Dayton Forsythe, who had a very good freshman season just down the road in Dale, Oklahoma. Rebound scraped up by Wicks. Nice pump fake up and in with the left hand to make it a 5-point game.
Skylar Wicks, we talked about him, and right on cue, there he is, making plays. He can shoot it from the perimeter. He can drive it off the bounce. He can post you up. He is a true 3-level scorer.
He's on his 5th stop on the collegiate journey.
He has tasted some cafeteria food all throughout.
He knows what the special is on Fridays in the cafeteria at a lot of locations across the country.
He definitely does.
Reed fouled there by Chris Moncrief.
Heavy on the Tex-Mex for a few years down there in both Incarnate Word and UTSA.
Some of the best in the country, in fact. Don't blame him for hopscotch.
Not mad at him.
So St. Francis, they announced shortly after the conclusion of last season that they will be transitioning to Division III after this year. Non-scholarship, not to belabor the point, but obviously it changed things for them. They lost 10 guys off the roster, 4 total players returning. They brought in some guys out of the transfer portal who have 1 season remaining. Luke McConnell's in his first season. He took over for one of his mentors, Rob Krimmel. He was associate head coach. He's a St. Francis grad, and his dad, Tom, was the head coach of St. Francis from 1992 to 1999. Super special for him. He said, is this a dream come true? He said, no, I would not have even dreamed this would ever happen to be the head coach at this place.
It's so good talking to him, and they did. They had a plan of attack. And no pun intended with Todd checking in the game, but they did in the recruiting. They wanted to go out and get guys that only had 1 year, veteran guys, the Skylar Wicks of the world, and you can see right now that they have a group that they can work with this season in the NEC.
And he convinced 3 underclassmen to come in and join the program as well. He said, hey, we're coaching them to be Division I players no matter what happens. Wegee sends that away from Harrison. Second block for the 6'10 Sooner senior. Back, a little hesitation. Wankwo to the rim, and a friendly roll at the Lloyd Noble Center for Wankwo.
That was the home roll, but that was a great shot fake and just exploded out of there. Jeff Wankwo with that right hand and puts it right in the hoop.
So Wankwo missed all of last season after an offseason Achilles tear. This is his first action at the Division I level. Transferred in from junior college. And before his injury, he was playing as well as anybody that Porter Moser had on this Sooner roster.
Chad, you have to love Wankwo's story. I mean, he's one of those guys that we can get to it a little bit, but a guy that played Division I level football, goes junior college, becomes one heck of a player, and now he's playing in the SEC.
Great find by Forsythe, who's off the bench, and an easy lay-in for Mo Wegee.
And Dayton Forsythe, give him credit right there. You can just tell the game is slowing down for him, and that's how it should be. From a freshman to sophomore, you should make that jump where the game slows down in your eyes.
Ralph Martino Jr. pulls the corner 3 and drops it home. That quiets the crowd at the Lloyd Noble Center. This is the back half of a women's and men's doubleheader. Oklahoma's 6th-ranked Sooner women were victors earlier today over Belmont. Loose ball down on the floor, and it'll be a held ball as Mo Wegee reaches in and ties up Justin Liberis.
Well, you talked about the second block, and this was a nice, wanted to be a teardrop, but Mo went upstairs and got that on Harrison's floater. And then right here, that was just a straight rip drive with that right hand, and Wankwo knew what to do when he got it in that paint.
5-point Oklahoma lead. Forsythe comes over, knocks this one out of bounds, trying to bounce it off of Harrison.
Great effort play, though, by Dayton right there. I mean, that's one of the things that, you know, you can see why Porter had a quote. He said that Forsythe didn't count his minutes. He made his minutes count last year. And that is what he was doing, those type of plays where that is making your minutes count, making the coach. He forced coach to have to play.
Say that one again, Poop. Say that one again.
Dayton didn't count minutes. He made his minutes count,
yeah,
Chad.
Put that one on the culture wall.
He definitely went and got that ball.
Shot clock below 10. The Flash looking around. Who's going to make a play? Ralph Martino Jr. can't squeeze one off. Zion Russell. And Wegee climbs high to pull that one down. He'll have a foul as he was undercut by Victor Payne. And Payne picks up the person. 1914 Oklahoma. Sooners shooting it very effectively here in the early going. 8 of 12. You've got high-quality shooters getting good looks, and Pooh, that's what Porter Moser's programs are known for. They shoot high field goal percentages because they just take more good shots than their opposition.
And as simple as that sounds, Chad, I mean it's so hard to get guys to do it. Coach Moser does a really good job of getting guys to play together and do just that.
Wankwo off a little rub screen there by Wagee. Can't find the range. Here comes Zion Russell. Good hedge by Wagee, man. He is athletic at his size, and he blocks his third shot. That was a kill.
Chad, think about this. I mean, we get a chance to see this later. He was hedging that ball screen out here by the OU. I mean, think about it. Let's take a peek at that if we can. He plays his tail off right here, hedges that ball, runs it down, and says, hey, guys, welcome to the Lloyd Noble block party. I'm going to end with 2 of his 3, and we also, one we did not show, was Xavier Brown with the one over in the left corner, his block shot. So Sooners are spreading the love at this block party right now in Lloyd Noble.
What a great journey for Muhammad Wagee. Began his career at Harcum College, was a junior college All-American, then a year at West Virginia. And then 2023-24, he was on Alabama's Final Four team, but he played through injury. And recuperating from the injury before last season, basically didn't have an off season. Then made an impact late in the year for the Sooners a season ago on their run to the NCAA tournament. 10 points and 9 rebounds he averaged in their final 4 games against SEC and NCAA foes. Just really came on, and boom, he's picking up where he left off.
You really can. You can just see him, Chad. You can see his confidence growing. Short clock, I didn't think they recognized. Got it up on the board.
That one bounds off of Xavier Brown. It'll stay on this end. And they'll put 20 on the shot clock here.
Yep, I was looking at that. They put 30 on there at first and reeled it back in.
Wicks to inbound. Let flash. Within 5. They're right there here, nearly midway through this opening half. Harris lost his dribble, nearly turned it over, but Victor Payne comes to get it. He'll attack Forsythe. A lot of steps there for Martino Jr. Came right back to him, and he puts it in.
Sometimes it's good to just be living right, Chad. That ball found Martino right there, and he finished up after picking up the loose change.
I was as impressed with the jump, stop, shuffle before he took the first shot.
Nah, they don't call travels too much anymore, Chad.
They do not.
And you know me, I'm a stickler for travels.
Good defensive effort there by Martino on the other end as he forces Oklahoma to give it away. Sooners will shuffle the deck a little bit. Darion Reed back in.
Lots of activity on the defensive end by the Red Flash. I mean, they are very, very active, and Coach McConnell really does have them locked in. And it's fun talking to him. He's from a hoops family, as you said earlier, with his dad, his aunt, his cousins. I mean, they got hoopers all over the place in the McConnell family.
That's right. His cousin TJ, NBA finalist with the Indiana Pacers. We will dive into the McConnell family traditions later on. Pull up and pop here for Wicks. Drops that one down. We got ourselves a one-point game.
This guy, Skylar Wicks, is wired to score, Chad. He was the last signee, as Coach McConnell said. And you know what? It's a good thing they did sign him up to be a Red Flash.
So 3-minute scoring drought for Oklahoma. 9-0 run for St. Francis. And a foul that may stop all of that as Mo Wagee gets in there, gets himself loose.
Well, a great job on that pick and roll. I mean, this is just good action right here. Straight dive right there to the basket. Tay Davis is doing a really good job of finishing when he gets a chance, but then taking what the defense gives. He saw Mo on that straight cut to the basket, hit him in stride, and one opportunity.
No Summer in 2024 coming back from that injury. Super high IQ and needs to be defensively smart. Got to be smart with fouls. They would love to have this guy on the floor late in games, in particular in the SEC. And of course, he was on that Alabama team that went to the Final Four to get that experience.
Well, this is something that Coach Moser talked about, Chad. This is that small ball lineup, and a perfect time playing against the Red Flash is not the largest team they're going to play this season. So something that Coach Moser is going to show and tinker with at times this season is this lineup right here. And here it is for the first time.
You got Davis out there at 6'9", and Reed, who's about 6'8". Really lengthy, rangy guys, too, though. Fall back 3, Wicks. Good defense that time by Tay Davis, and a foul underneath. I think they're going to get Darion Reed. much to the dismay of Porter Moser here.
Well, one thing to keep an eye on, they did it in that possession, but when you put this lineup in, and what you said, Chad, about Davis and Reed and all of these long front end guys, like front court guys, they can all switch and guard point guards, 2s, 3s. So very interchangeable on the defensive end, and a great switch everything lineup with this group in for the Sooners.
So Steven Anderson is our crew chief. Will Howard and Hunter Allen are talking this over. I think Hunter Allen's going to come give us a little explanation.
Ruling on the floor is a common foul on White, number 7. Play is under review for a potential hook and hold.
So there you go from Steven Anderson.
Going to look at a potential hook and hold. Let's see. I don't know, Chad. I don't know what your eyes saw. Thanks, guys. I was going to say, can we get another look? Now, did he ever get hooked up and connect? Yes. Maybe when he got the second
I think my question would be, who's the hooker and the holder and who's doing what? They're both got a hold of each other.
Well, watch Dave Forsythe right here, though. He gets kind of, I don't know, manhandled is the word to use, but he gets kind of put in a tough spot, and then he did put the arm up, and
yeah,
maybe when he put the second arm, we'll see what we get out of this. Tough one to call.
Adjudication will be a challenge here, but we're having a look at it. Steven Anderson, Will Howard, and Hunter Allen over there at the table. Now they're going to talk it over. St. Francis staying in this thing. They shot 40%. Being strong on the boards. They've out-rebounded Oklahoma 11-6 here in the early going.
Which is impressive, because one of the things we talked about is they're a little challenged in the height department, let's say, but one thing you're noticing, especially on the defensive end, Chad, is just they're playing with such great effort and energy / activity. I mean, they're bringing it on that end, and you can just see it.
Looks like we've got a decision.
Here we go.
First, they'll give the explanation to the 2 head coaches, and then they'll let us know.
After review, ruling on the floor has been overturned to a foul.
So, Chad,
on St. Francis, number 21, the Oklahoma ball.
So it is not a hook and hold, though, but it is a common foul on Liberis right there, as you and I were saying. Who got who?
I don't know who got hooked and held. I think they both had a little bit. But in the end, as you said, common foul on Liberis. Team foul number 5 now against St. Francis. Oklahoma approaching the bonus. Pack lines up a 3, strong off the back of the iron. Zion Russell is in a hurry. Nice feed. Moncrief, power dribble up and in to make it a 2-point game.
I mean, these guys they came to play, Dad. They got a good-looking group of athletes, and they play together. They're playing hard. They really are spacing the floor and driving that basketball and putting a lot of pressure on the Sooners.
Reed lost it. 2-on-1 attack. And the attack made by Zion Russell. We got a tie ball game and a timeout by Porter Moser and the Sooners.
A little DCO, as we like to say, defense creating offense, and that was a live ball turnover, and those are the worst ones because that was fuel to the red flashes fire, and here they are in transition. Russell with a great step through right there, and defense creates some offense. Right foot, right hand. You like to talk about that, Chad. That right foot, right hand, kind of goofy foot finish right there to the basket. High and soft. And we got a new ball game.
How about Russell now? 6 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. And he's got this Luke McConnell coach team up there. We mentioned taking over for Rob Krimmel, who was one of his mentors, the former head coach who decided to retire once the jump to Division III beginning next year was announced. But Krimmel played for Luke McConnell's dad, Tom, right here at St. Francis. So their relationship goes back 25 years. And so grateful not only to his dad, Tom, but also to his predecessor, Rob Krimmel, for getting this opportunity to be the head coach of the Red Flash.
Yeah, said he was like an uncle slash second father figure, just a guy he looked up to, and now he gets to follow and coach in a place that his dad and his mentor both coached.
Boy, Xavier Brown had everything but the finish right there. St. Francis with a chance to take the lead with 8:25 to play. Wicks can't do it, though. McGee back in there. Walking that tightrope down on the baseline to keep it alive.
I feel like Wicks has a chance to score every time he's in there, don't you?
Pack the feed, McGee the finish, and one.
Pick and roll, and that time it was an occupied corner, and that defender has the pull, and it was just a little late getting in there to protect us. We'll see it right here. See it right there? That was, yep, that was Russell right there, I do believe. Brandon Russell, number 3. As a freshman, you learned that, though. That ball pulls you in the direction it's headed. So that ball's coming towards us. He has to be coming towards us, but a lot earlier. That time he was tardy to the party, and Wagee finished with the and one.
So Mo Wagee, 7 points, 2 rebounds, has a shot at his second old-fashioned three-point play. Strong there. As Martino Jr. the rebound for St. Francis. They are running opportunistically when they have a chance here tonight.
Yes, they are. I mean, and you know what? They have a lot of like-sized ball-handling guards, and they're taking advantage of it. You're right, Chad. They're not making it a track meet by any means, but very opportunistic. And when this guy gets it, he's trying to score.
Wicks over the top of a good defender in Davis. And we're tied again.
And guess what? He can score. I mean, that is a guy that can put the ball in the basket.
There's Nigel Pack.
As can that guy.
Wagee with the tip. Now Davis on a pogo stick with 2 more.
And that is where OU has the advantage, and the Sooners are taking advantage of that size opportunities, and it's tacking that offensive board.
Oklahoma now 4 offensive rebounds. They'll get a chance here as out of the pack comes Wankwo. Davis squeezes one off, missed everything, right into the lap of Wicks. Russell, this is Zion behind the back, up with it. Brandon Russell. Russell to Russell, both with the hustle, and a tie ball game at 26 apiece.
Well, you know what? And Porter did not like that shot one bit at all. You can see he showed you over on the sideline, and you know why, Chad, as again, Pack doing what Pack does. That shot, though, leads to the transition game for the Red Flash. I mean, because no one's expecting him to shoot that at that time. And just ill-advised shot right there. The Sooners will learn from watching video of that one tomorrow.
Second field goal for Pack. Brandon Russell and Wankwo tears down the miss. Wagee, no double team. Just one-on-one against the smaller Martino Jr., and that was easy money. Mo Wagee just the back down and the bucket. He's got 11 already.
Sooners back up for Chad. And this was big-time transition game right here. And that was all led by that shot that no one was ready for at that time. Pause for poise in the post by Mo. And finish him up, big fella. From the three-point line, straight line drives. He also can and will get himself to the foul line. He is just a guy who can score the basketball.
Back to it here. St. Francis a chance to make it a 2-point game or less. They feed inside and a post up by the 6'6" Chris Moncrief for the bucket.
Just a lot of interchangeable guys. They're all around the same size, 6'2" to 6'6", and they can switch everything like they're doing right now. But you end up getting this too, though. You got Russell guarding Wagee, and that's what the Sooners are taking advantage of, getting right to the rim and getting second chance opportunities as well.
Physical finish there by Xavier Brown. Sideline inbound here for the Red Flash.
You gotta love how hard. You see how hard these guys are cutting, Chad? That is, we talked about establishing an identity, and that was one of the things we talked about in the open. This is an identity. They work on this, talking about cutting game speed, cutting hard. They are doing that, and you can see it.
Here's Wonkwo in the open court. Little blow by, runs into some traffic and draws a foul against Zion Russell. Not the guy you want to collide with is Wonkwo, as you alluded to, former football player, 2021-22. He was on the Tulane football team but didn't play. A couple of years at the Cali County Community College up in Kansas, where he was a JUCO All-American, playing very well as a Sooner when they got him in. Porter Moser said playing as well as anybody they had in their offseason workouts, then tears his Achilles. And Porter Moser has torn his Achilles. He said it's about confidence, making sure that you trust it once again, because this guy's got some serious talent.
Well, you've seen him take off with a right-hand straight-line drive. We just saw him go left off a little hesitation. Left-hand straight-line drive, getting himself to the basket. He's become a really reliable three-point shooter. He's a guy that the Sooners are going to expect a lot from this season.
Wicks rims in the three this time. He continues to light it up tonight.
Chad, we talked about being a three-level scorer. Threes, post-ups, drives, mid-range, foul line. He does it all.
Nigel Pack, an open look at a three. He knows what to do with that. He's done a lot of it throughout his career.
That's a guy over his career in all three of his stops now. He's averaging over 14 points a game for his career, Chad. That is a lot of baskets. So Sooner fans, get used to it.
Played in the Final Four. Played in the Big 12. Played in the ACC. He knows what this is about. And now playing in the toughest league in the country. There's Zion Russell with the blow-by bucket. Francis keeping it close. Weggy, the kick out to Forsythe. They hop out on him. He'll bang his way in and finish it. See Dayton Forsythe's physicality.
He is a strong guard that can get that ball to his spots, and that time took advantage of the size mismatch and finished up.
Martino Jr. falls away and misses. Forsythe line it up. Weggy. And stripped out of bounds, and to stay right here. An active Mo Weggy in this first half. 9 points and 4 boards.
Skylar Wicks doing Skylar Wicks type things right now tonight, Chad. Coming off that ball screen, floating to his left. Three ball right from the top. And anything you can do, I can do better, says Nigel Pack. Three ball slot.
And these same two were together last night, were the Oklahoma men and women at the Paycom Center up in Oklahoma City, about 25 miles away. Sooner women and men watching the Thunder and the New Orleans Pelicans, for whom Jeremiah Fears was the #7 overall draft pick in the 2025 NBA draft. So the former Sooner guard Jeremiah Fears playing and defeated by the reigning world champion Oklahoma City Thunder last night. Well, what a cool experience for both teams.
Great experience. I saw Coach Moser down on the floor chatting it up with Jeremiah prior to the game. And
what an incredible 1 year that Jeremiah had in Norman, much like Trae Young just a few years prior to that. Numerous Sooner stars in the NBA. Austin Reeves had a 50-point game.
How about that guy?
You coached Austin Reeves.
2 years, and as good as, or as well as he's playing, and as good a player as he is, he's doing even better in the NBA than I ever thought he would have. And that's not a short on it, but 51 points. I mean, that's a short list of guys who scored 50 points in an NBA game, and Austin just added his name to that list, Chad. Fairly impressive, to say the least.
St. Francis back to work in the hands of Amon Harrison, that should be transferred in for Fordham. Tough ask there for Moncrief, but he does end up going over the top unsuccessfully.
Really solid defense right there by Kawal Attack.
There's Wonkwo. And rebounded by Cam Tweedy. He's a captain. Came in from Fairleigh Dickinson, which is a rival in the NEC with St. Francis.
Well, and I was looking at Coach Moser, looking at Porter's body language right there when Wonkwo went in there. But
whoa, hey now. That was old school, looked like the ABA right there.
I was thinking a little George Gervin. I'll show you how to finger roll right there. Big time finish by Russell.
Back to a three-point game with 3 to play. Forsythe chased off the line. In he goes and foul. Couple of free throws here for Dayton Forsythe.
Seconds. Zion Russell doing some real things here off the bounce. A little stop, go, left to right crossover, and I'm just going to scoop it up and never touch it with my left hand and put a little honey roll on that, Chad. That is high and soft. That is not an easy shot, to say the least.
One thing I could do was finger roll.
Shades of George Gervin. And on this end right here, though, Dayton Forsythe has gotten himself to the basket twice, and he is setting it up off of his shot fake. And he's had 2 excellent shot fakes which have led him straight to the rim. And first, when he finished, that time he gets fouled and gets that opportunity to get to the foul line.
Just had a really good freshman year. Just played a bigger and bigger role, as Porter Moser said, hey, make me not play you. Force me to not play you. Find a way to get yourself in there. And Dayton Forsythe made the most of the minutes that he had. Some big games for the Sooners.
He really did. This is that link. Again, think about it. Nigel Pack, second block of the night. Not known for his defense as being a guy that's a shot blocker by any means, but he has definitely taken heed to what Coach Bowles is talking about.
Another one that finds a friendly role here. Skylar Wicks is digging the rims here at the Lloyd Noble Center.
He has 16 of the 37 points from the red flash, Chad. Skylar Wicks is shooting at a really big basket tonight.
Kick out 3 for Forsythe, and he drops that one down out of the corner.
And give Tay Davis the credit out of that short roll. Short roll, caught it in stride. Could have gotten himself in trouble, though, with a defender right there. You usually want to stay solid and off 2 feet, but he sprayed it right out to the corner, and Dayton Forsythe splash.
4th made 3 for the Sooners in the opening half, and a 5-point advantage. Down low, that ball went off of a foot. Picked up and put in by Tweedy. Cam Tweedy, captain on this team. They're going to take a minute to get the moisture wiped up, but Tweedy just reached down. Nobody else had their hands on it and scored.
Look what I found, Chad. Sometimes you get some loose change and you can deposit it, and that is exactly what Cam Tweedy did in that possession. And St. Francis just hanging around, Chad, hanging around.
Nigel Pack, teardrop, too strong. Pops out of the hands of Wegee and goes out of bounds. And another crack here for the red flash. Porter Moser going to send Xavier Brown back into his lineup. And Nigel Pack will get a breather. These guards, interchangeable parts. You know, and the thing is that they don't have a bunch of guys that are the same. The thing Oklahoma's added more than anything is size, physicality.
Yes, they have.
For an SEC team overall last year, they were small.
Well, and then one of the things, too, Chad, you said it. They have 3 ball handlers. Like, any of those guys can play on the ball or off the ball. And so, and when I say those 3, we're talking, let's see if this goes in. Talking Brown, you're talking Pack, and Forsythe. Any of them can play on as well as off the basketball.
Wicks wipes that one away from Davis, who was trying to finish it. Shot clock's at 24 here for the Sooners. So Wicks missed the shot, but then got back and played some good defense. Forsythe, jab step and then the 3. Wegee corrals it, scores again with a foul. A 3rd 3-point opportunity in the opening half for Mo Wegee.
And this is what the Sooners have to do. I mean, you got to go and get that offensive glass and take advantage of the size that you have and the length and athleticism. Or you're talking 6'10", 6'9", 6'9", standing in that paint right now. And when those shots go up, 22, 5, and 13, you have to go crash that glass.
Who you like that term, effort stats. Those are effort stats, offensive rebounds, block shots, those sorts of things. And Mo Wegee is leading this game in those effort stats.
And that's what he brings to the table. That is who he is. That is in his DNA, and it is contagious. I mean, those kind of players, his effort rubs off on his teammates.
He converts the old-fashioned 3-point play. Mo Wegee a dozen points, 4 boards, 3 blocks as well in his first half. Under a minute to go. Oklahoma by 6. There's Wicks. Defensive rotation rolls over, and a good find in Tweedy, who scores again.
And Wicks didn't score that basket, but give him the credit for creating that play off the bounce and give him the assist.
Brown dashes and darts, but misses. And here comes Wicks with a full head of steam. Kick out corner 3, Moncrief. That one's home, and we've got a 1-point game.
These guys, they came to play tonight. The Red Flash from St. Francis, PA. They are playing the game together. And OU's playing. It's not that the Sooners aren't playing well, Chad. You just have to give St. Francis credit. They are making plays to stay in this game and give themselves a chance.
Moncrief made 9 total threes in 26 tries last year. Drops his first of this. Sooners at the final look here in a 1-point lead. Brown, nice screen and roll with Davis, but the entry pass is poked away. Heave by Harrison at the buzzer. Good first half, ends with a 1-point Oklahoma lead. And St. Francis right in this thing on the road in the Sooners' house. Season opener at the Lloyd Noble Center. Both teams made the big dance last year, lacing them up once again in 2025-26. Despite an early Oklahoma lead, the Red Flash proving they're not going to burn out anytime soon. It's Oklahoma by 1 at the break at the Lloyd Noble Center. Set to go, his career high is 28 points. So well on his way to perhaps doing that tonight. 16 in the opening half, 7 of 11 from the field. Made a couple of threes. 1-point Oklahoma lead. Their largest lead was 8 in the first half. St. Francis actually had a 1-point lead in the opening 20 minutes. Xavier Brown going back to work. And the entry pass to McGee is batted away. Red Flash with a chance to take the lead to start the second half.
Both teams kind of filling one another. Isn't that amazing how this always happens when you start the second half?
Wicks had it stripped in there by Pack. Power dribble. And the lead goes right back to the Red Flash to begin the half. And Wicks continues his red-hot night. He's got 18.
That was a look what I found. Ball kind of found Skylar Wicks, and he puts it in the hole and then did a little soccer headbutt right there to let everyone know I'm still here now.
I think everybody's got the message. It has been loud and clear.
It really has. And you see him right here switching out on the perimeter on these handoffs.
Under 10 to shoot. Late shot clock for Pack. In and out on the 3 try. Rebound volleyballs into the hands of Reed, and he's fouled in the scrum. I believe the foul will be on the floor.
Chad, is it just me, though? We looked at those halftime stats, and St. Francis has 7 offensive rebounds. The Sooners had 6, but maybe the Sooners just got all theirs in the same. But I felt like OU had more offensive rebounds, maybe just to the naked eye. But give the Red Flash credit. They are competing and working on that glass.
Quick trigger. Pack is 0 for 2 to start the second half.
Great execution there on that baseline out of bounds, though. That's that play that a lot of teams run. You lob it over the top and sprint your inbounder off a double. Got Pack wide open.
Chris Moncrief trying to back into the post against Reed. Out it comes, and a 3 hoisted by LeBaris is good.
LeBaris sat out last season with the injury and making some plays, and Coach McConnell talked about him being a guy that he was going to depend on.
Sooners counter it the other way, and Oklahoma could just get back at you so quickly if they so choose. But Wicks to the rim blocked. McGee on the backside again. Pack just races the other way for 2 more.
Pack's just one of those guys. He is not probably going to be the best athlete out on the floor most nights, but just a guy that you look up, Chad, next thing you know, he can have 18 to 20 points.
So Reed and Pack with back-to-back buckets to tie this game. There's Davis claiming another rebound. And a steal. Trying to get it into McGee. Reed threw it away, but got it back. And he'll go to the foul line. Sometimes it just works out.
Sometimes the ball will find you, Chad. I like to say sometimes you're just living right. In that case, that was the situation. And here's a little DCO. Give Wagee another block. Or at least he altered that and led to this fast break. And we talked about Pack. Probably not going to win a foot race, but when he gets that ball in his hands, he knows how to score, Chad.
It's funny how that is. Football, basketball, some guys are just faster when they have the ball in their hands.
It's called the old power pellet. Remember Pac-Man? You
You're
get
right.
the ball in your hands, it's like the power pellet.
Yep.
It makes you go a little faster, Chad, in whatever sport it might be.
So Reed gives the Sooners back. He was the 10th McDonald's All-American in Oklahoma history. Went to Alabama last year, missed 13 games due to injury on that Elite 8 team. But of the 10 Oklahoma McDonald's All-Americans, he is the first to transfer in and be a Sooner. 2-point advantage for the Sooners, just underway in half number 2. That one poked away by Xavier Brown, and the defense so good it forced a foul by Moncrief.
I was just a little loose with the ball there by LaBarris. And the old saying, I can still hear Coach Tubby Smith in my ears. That bounce pass is a slow pass on the perimeter right there, Chad. And you can see it in that case. That slow bounce pass, and Brown took advantage of it and ran right through it, which most good defenders do.
Moncrief turns it over, commits the foul, and the Sooners try to build upon their lead. Tay Davis can't shake free of Russell, but now does, and finishes it with the left hand. Got a quick timeout. Nigel Pack is holding his face right now. And headed off to the sideline. Oklahoma trainer Seth Tisdale's going to take a quick look at Nigel Pack. Like nose or the eye somewhere.
He got popped in the nose. I didn't see it in live action, but it happened early. You can see him reaching up right here. I still didn't see it right there either.
Sooners have now McGee, Davis, and Pack in double figures. McGee leading the way with a dozen. So scoring spread and a 4-point lead. This is an 8-0 run after St. Francis had taken that lead. Teardrop splash for Zion Russell.
That is a big-time play, though. I mean, that is a guy that is shifty with that ball in his hands, and he gets it to that paint. He vaults up. You see both ways. He's great off 1 foot with that floater. Some guys better off 2, but he's so good off 1 foot with that floater.
Reed missed everything and rebounded on the backside by Ahmad Harrison, who's checked in. Reed nearly got a steal. Here's Harrison. St. Francis with numbers, but he rotates back. Whistle and a reach-in foul. I believe that's going to be. Let's go back and see if we can figure out exactly where it happened and what happened to Nigel Pack.
Taking a peek right here. Yeah, it looks like Russell just kind of, I don't know, chucked him or whatever. Just whatever happened, it just hit him just right, though. You could tell.
Health, the most important thing for Nigel Pack. He's been good and healthy this offseason after missing last year with injury at Miami. Long running rebound here to Wankwo, who's checked in. Now Reed Davis in attack mode, and Tay Davis lays another one in.
Well, that's what the Sooners can be, Chad. So sorry to cut you off, but that ball came off the rim. It was about 2 bounces, and you had 2 long, lanky athletes, and next thing you know, you got a guy laying it up.
Davis has a dozen behind the back flip this time, and Brown scoops it up and in. Sooners turn a turnover into 2 more. 6-point lead and a timeout taken by Luke McConnell and the red flash.
Chad, we talk about DCO. That is a nice little Harlem Globetrotter behind the back. Defense creating offense. Sooners up 6. Of the shots. That is where he gets his work done. He got the one out in transition. And when you talk about Tay Davis, Coach Moser said he is an elite transition athlete. And you can see it right here because he just flies. That possession before when they caused the turnover, he was out and it just looked graceful on that finish between he and Reed.
Had a 26-point game against Boston College last year. Scored 22 in a game against Houston as well. Scored 22 against a Kelvin Sampson coach team, and you've done some things. Kelvin Sampson, former Oklahoma coach, pursuing his 800th career win tonight. We got a timeout with the Sooners up 6, under 16 to play in half number 2.
Funny hearing Luke talk about his cousin TJ and said around freshman year he became taller than most everyone else. And
yeah,
he's rode that all the way to the NBA and having one heck of a career.
And then TJ's sister Megan, Phoenix Mercury, now is playing overseas, and a couple of aunts, Kathy and Susie, who are collegiate head coaches. Susie is in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. Had a great career at Penn State, gold medal winner. There's TJ.
Well, Kathy McConnell-Miller worked right around the hallway during my 4 years there at the University of Tulsa when I was an assistant coach. 3 of the 4 that Kathy McConnell-Miller did one excellent job and got that team to the WNIT and got the job at Colorado.
Yeah, she's coaching at Carnegie Mellon these days as well. 5-point Oklahoma lead. McGee finding Nate Forsythe. Trying to lob it back to McGee. Couldn't quite finish it. And it's off Mo McGee. Kind of a tough catch over the shoulder to finish that one.
It was the right thought. Probably wasn't a great pass and put Mo in a tough spot. Finishable. I mean, he could have made it, but it would not have been easy.
Yeah, he's upset with himself that he didn't finish it.
Oh,
Full
yeah.
court pressure now. Wicks having a night. He's got 18. Forsythe can't quite stay in front of him. He bulldozes to the bucket.
Offensive.
And an offensive foul. He got that free arm extended that time.
I mean, that was a great change of speed, though. I mean, we'll see it right here. He kind of hits another gear right there. And he did extend that left arm. Not sure he had to either, though. That's one of those where his left shoulder was by Dayton's right shoulder. He already had him beat, probably didn't need to extend, but that is an effort play. And you know what they call that, playing in the rear view. And that's what Dayton was doing. He kept moving his feet. Those effort plays that we talk about. And here's Pack with a little something packed into his nose, Chad.
Yeah, he got the bloody nose taken care of. By the way, that was foul number 3 on Wicks. So as you see, he's taking a little breather now. Uh-oh, we got a wardrobe malfunction here on the part of a Red Flash player. In comes Stephen Anderson to take care of that. Make sure everybody is wearing proper attire.
Properly attired. I like that, Chad.
Xavier Brown going to work. Oklahoma trying to extend. They've got Kawal Atak back in there. This is him.
They've done an excellent job with switching because they do switch so many screens. Everything but in. But Attack has not been able to tee one of those things up that you and I talked about prior to the game, Chad.
Yeah, the Red Flash got the scouting report.
It's all fun and games, so they find out, right? Great job of executing the scouting report, and I'm sure at some point Kawal will find a way to get that thing off.
That's out of bounds off Wonquo. It'll stay right here, but only 8 to shoot now for the Red Flash. Got a couple of guys all bandaged up. Butterflies over the eyes of Wonquo. Gauze pads in the nose of Nigel Pack. These guys are veterans of college hoops. Nothing they can't shake off. Wagee poked that one away. Sooners 4-on-1. Mo Wagee finishes again.
One of the things we're talking about, we talked identity. One of the things that I think the Sooners really are, they are a transition, fast, athletic squad, and they're showing it tonight.
Quick hit ahead.
What did you say, Chad?
For 3, not this time though. Wagee back to Atak. And that one's down. His first career made 3.
If at first it doesn't succeed, then try it again, Chad. And you knew he was not going to be bashful. That is what he does. He is a pick and pop, knockdown, 3-point sniper. He had 4 shot attempts in that scrimmage or that exhibition against Wisconsin. All of them were 3s, and he made 3 of the 4 shot attempts from behind the arc.
Out of Fort Worth, redshirted to get stronger last year, and he has done just that. Sooners starting to pull away. 10-point lead is their largest. They're trying to run him off the line. Atak steps left, hits another. 2 down.
That is what he does, Chad. We just said he made 3 of 4 against Wisconsin in the exhibition. He's 2 of 3 right now, and they've all come in a wave.
Tough runner that time by Harrison.
3rd block, Chad, for Nigel Pack.
Atak. The step around and the finish with the finger roll. Run me off the line, I'll beat you in other ways. 8 straight for Kawal Atak in his Sooner debut. And a timeout for the Red Flash.
Atak has been on the attack, Chad. He is getting them up. 8-0 run by the young fella. Let's take a peek right here. Second chance opportunities. That's when good 3-point shooters can shoot open ones. That is what we see right there. This one was a shot fake Oh, no, right here. This one, a little DCO right here. Shot fake, sidestep, 3-ball attack. And then you said it, Chad. They ran him off the 3-point line, and he said, okay, I can do my damage in the paint as well. 8-0 run for number 22, Kowal attack.
And a 10-0 run overall for the Sooners in the last minute 23 to open up this lead of 15 now with 12:39 to play. But Pooh, you mentioned it a moment ago. If they can rebound, they can get out and run with some of the high-level athletes that Porter Moser has.
Well, like I said, Chad, I think this is when you find out your identity that we talked about in the open. But I think Oklahoma's identity could really be, but it's going to be a rebound the ball first, because as every coach says, it's hard to run when you don't rebound. You can't be a really good running team if you're not a good rebounding team. And that's one of the things that Coach Moser talked about, was getting more opportunities and more shots at the basket this year. And how do you get more field goal attempts? You have to rebound the basketball. You have to be a great defensive rebounding team. You want to be a good offensive rebounding team. And you don't want to give up offensive rebounds. And that is why you want to be a good defensive rebounding squad, Chad. And then last but not least, limit turnovers. You can't turn it over and be a good running team as well.
And those missions have been accomplished in half number 2 for the Sooners. That's a tough contested 3 taken by Zion Russell. And Oklahoma is full throttle right now. Xavier Brown, he's got one down. 13-0 Oklahoma run, and the lead is 18.
Isn't it funny, though, just how contagious that stuff can be, though? A couple of balls go in from behind the arc, and the next thing you know, I mean, it is just raining threes in the Lloyd Noble Center right now.
Barris trying to bang his way down into the low block, and he's got both Xavier Brown and Nigel Pack there.
And that was just a nice, easy play. Shoulders, feet squared, 3-ball, side pocket, X Brown. We like to say that defense is creating great offensive opportunities. And then when the 3-ball starts going in like it is for the Sooners right now, holy cow. I mean, they are 3 for 7, but it feels like they've made all 3 within the last minute and a half.
That's because they have. And you see that back in is Skylar Wicks. He went out with his 3rd foul, and Sooners went on that run when he was off the floor. Quickly tries to grab it and back Wonkwo down into the low block, and there's a big foul on Wonkwo. He can settle things for St. Francis, get him into a little something on the offensive end, and keep Oklahoma from heading the other way.
Well, he is a guy that, I mean, when all else fails, you throw him a great tie-up. Sooners playing with great activity right now. But you throw him the ball and you let him create the offense. Doesn't have to just be for himself. He can make it easier on the others as well, Chad, but you want it in his hands. Wonkwo doing a really good job. You see him out here. I mean, he's denying him all the way out in front of us.
Zion Russell has it cleaned out of his hands by Atak.
And this is the block party that we've been talking about.
That's
Oklahoma.
number 8.
They are all over the place, and it's been by committee, Chad. I mean, Wagee has been the guy that started it and is kind of the star of the party. He's the DJ, but he's got a lot of guys dancing out here to his tune.
He's the DJ. Who are the other guys?
Oh, they're the, you know, everyone has a
Backup
hype man.
vocalist,
Oh, yeah, everyone has a hype man.
That's
Gotta have a
right.
hype man.
Yeah.
He's got multiple hype men with him tonight,
I'm
though.
still interviewing for mine. Zion Russell gets it into the hands of Wicks. He's got to go make a play. 10 to shoot. And an illegal screen is what the play was there. Barris will pick up that offensive foul. Head the other way with it. Barris, you talked about him coming off an injury. He's a guy that is going to be a low block presence. Hard to beat that against this very tall and rangy Oklahoma team tonight.
They are just so active right now doing this little run. 13-0 over the last 2 minutes and some change.
Pack, and that one batted out by Ahmad Harrison. Sooners a spot throw in with under 10 to shoot. 13-0 Oklahoma run. It's taken them less than 3 minutes to do that.
We talked about the defense creating it, Chad, but as well, like we said, those 3-point shots start to fall right now, and it's contagious.
Brown, no on that 3. Up high goes Wagee. And an easy finish for him. He did the hard part. The lay-in was easy.
No joke. Just going upstairs and squeezing that offensive board. That was definitely an area. Again, look at him.
Lead is 20 now for Porter Moser and the Sooners. Hard dribble drive, and Moncrief just lost that one out of bounds. Has not been his best night.
Big Bo got hit a little bit there, didn't he? I mean, he was on the left elbow and he stretched out. He had some, remember Inspector Gadget, go-go Gadget arms right there. He went back behind his body and reached back and went upstairs and got that little spade action. We'll talk about this when he makes this shot.
A top had that one rim out. Mo McGee takes a tumble here. The last thing Porter Moser wants at this point is to get hurt.
We get a chance to see that again. You hear me call it that Spain action. It's a ball screen by Wagee, and then he gets a back screen, so you screen the screener. So ball screener Wagee, back screener with a really good shooter like Kawal Atak, and that is why he ends up being so open, because by rule, if you're guarding by defensive principles, you're going to help on the back screen. And guess what? You got a guy like number 22 Attack popping out, shooting a wide open jump shot.
So they're going to give McGee a little breather. Tay Davis returns. 15 to shoot as Forsythe resets it. There's a talk, and there's another. His third coming off the bench.
Swing, swing, splash, Chad. That is that one more by Wankwo. That was a really good play, and you know, they know they have a weapon. That guy's a weapon, number 22, Attack. And straight one more, and how in the world did he get to that basket?
I don't know. It didn't work out, but I applaud the effort. Hit ahead pass. Attack sends it home.
This young fella, Chad, you said it. He went from 170 to 195, along with growing 2 inches since he's been in Norman, Oklahoma. And man, he is just scratching the surface. He's going to get better and better.
He went from nothing to 13 points here in about the last 10 minutes. That stops a 20-0 Oklahoma run. Does that field goal by Harrison?
Well, you and I were just saying he didn't even get a field goal attempt. And next thing you know, he's sitting at 13 points and looking for more.
Woo! I don't know how that one didn't go down.
Well, you think that's guys that are really, really good shooters. Every time they tee it up, you think they're going in. And you know what? You can put him on that list.
That one popped out of the hands briefly of Cam Tweedy, but he recovered to lay it in. Now it's quieted just a little bit. I thought about it. Wankwo will.
Thought he had a little tap dancing going on right there in front of us and got away with it. Then again, I think everyone travels, Jack.
So that one stays on this end with the Sooners.
That's that swing, swing. One more. You get that open guy. And when it's attack, he is attacking the rim right there in transition and giving it a look and saying, hey, everyone in Haltom City, Texas, I'm here.
So everybody has asked Porter Moser after that exhibition game against Wisconsin, hey, did you know he could shoot like that? Has he always been able to shoot like that? He said, oh, yeah, that's why we recruited him. Nigel Pack says it's not going to be all Kawal. I'm getting on the three-point party, too.
And then the next thing you know, the Sooners have 10 made threes. Like, how fast did they? We talked about them being a excellent transition team. And now we're looking at him shooting. Look at this guy. He's at 20 right now. He's got a 20-piece McNugget right now and still has 8 minutes left to keep adding to the stack.
You're going to have to quiet that McNugget talk. We've done a doubleheader today with no lunch.
Yeah, cut that McNugget talk out, Chad.
That one kicked out of bounds. It'll stay right here. Brandon Russell got his boot on it. And we've got a timeout. Sooners in control. Didn't look that way for a while. St. Francis had the lead in the second half, but the Sooners by 22 with under 8.
where it hits their hands and they let it fly. And that is who Kawal Atak is. He doesn't dip the ball and try to get a rhythm. He can just catch it, and he's got enough strength now that he's gained those 25 pounds. He just lets that thing go from wherever he catches, Jack.
5 Sooners in double figures on the night, led by the career high night so far of Mo Wookie, who's got 16 to pace everybody. Wicks trying to continue to do his thing. Tough all the way baseline jumper, no. But he came in and stole it from Reed. Reed sends it away.
Sooners are really taking this block party to heart. They are keeping it going.
That is number 9 in the blocks category for the Sooners. 3 apiece for Wiggy and Nigel Pack, who's the shortest guy on the floor.
he listened to Coach Moser when Porter told him he wanted him to dial in and become a much better defender and add to what he does, because you know what he brings on the offensive end. And I mean, you know, anytime he tees it up, you think his shots are going in. So you get him, Attack, Brown. I mean, you got multiple guys that can make not just a few, but a lot of threes in at the same time.
Nice cut to the bucket by Liberis, and he'll earn a trip to the charity stripe.
Give and go, right? Great cut, hard cut to the rim, and earning his way to the stripe is Liberis.
Liberis, injury season a year ago, but a lot of potential. And last year, toward the end, he picked up the pace. This is that foul shot. St. Francis team that won their final 3 games of the regular season in overtime. Then all 3 NEC tournament games by 3 points. They won 6 straight and nearly beat Alabama State in the first 4. They lost on what was a long pass and a lay-in by Alabama State in that first 4. Or else they'd have advanced to yet another day. Forsythe elected to pass at the last second. McGee draws a double team. Davis couldn't quite finish on the tip.
A lot of jumping jacks, though. A lot of guys in white jerseys like pogo sticks, and they're getting off that floor.
Forsythe trying to save it, but he was on the sideline over there. Great effort.
Great effort play, Chad. And that makes you think about that comment from earlier tonight. Don't count the minutes, make the minutes count. And Dayton Forsythe has figured out how to get himself and how to force Porter Moser and that Sooner staff to put him and keep him on that floor as much as possible.
Forget it. 25-point game against Ole Miss. Made 45% of his threes. This was a big-time scorer at Dale High School, just down the road on I-40. 10 to shoot. Liberis will, unsuccessfully. Reed bounces up to claim another rebound. Remember the rebounding battle that St. Francis at one time led? Oklahoma's now +9 in that category.
I mean, it has just been a burst. As I say burst, that was a really impressive burst right to the basket by Reed. And if you find that guy number 9, Nigel Pack, and he gets it rhythmed up with his feet and shoulders squared, he is going to make a lot more than he misses, Chad. You're talking a mid-40+% three-point shooter for his career.
And he's made 4 tonight. There's another Oklahoma block. That's number 10. Loose ball scraped up by Brandon Russell. And he draws a blocking foul to earn himself a couple of free throws.
And Nigel Pack has made 4 of 8. He shot 8 threes tonight. I mean, 50%. He's shooting. That is efficient, Chad. You shoot 50% with 8 attempts.
Yeah, he and Atak are 7 of 14 from downtown between the 2 of them.
Hey, what do you say? Let it fly?
Absolutely.
Those 2 guys, let it fly. And that is something that we're talking identity, and it's early, but we talked about the transition team, how they have length and athleticism, speed. We're talking now 3-point prowess, because we see multiple guys that are capable. You can put Xavier Brown on that list as well of guys that can heat up and make 3-4 threes in a game. So that's a weapon. You're also talking Reed and Davis, both capable 3-point shooters. Maybe not to the extent where, you know, certain nights they might be able to rattle off 3-4, but very capable when they tee it up. So a lot of different looks that this Sooner team can throw at you.
25-point lead as Xavier Brown goes to work. That one batted out of bounds. It'll stay right here. Good debut for Porter Moser's team. 5th straight year, as he has said, that he is coaching in the toughest league in the country. Final 3 years that Sooners were in the Big 12. It was the #1 league in the country, and now the last 2 years it has been the SEC. And man, is it tough. 14 NCAA tournament teams last year.
That's just
crazy.
unbelievable. I mean, that's nuts.
And they backed it up. 7 went to the Sweet 16, 4 to the Elite 8, 2 to the Final 4. And of course, Florida won the national championship. Their bid to repeat and go unbeaten has been unsuccessful tonight. Florida lost to Arizona 93-87 out in Las Vegas tonight. As Xavier Brown lines up to 1-1. Francis over the foul limit. Brown knocks that one down. Sooners are 8 of 12 at the charity strike.
Chad, think about this. The Sooners had 45 points at the half. This is point number 42 in the second half with 5.5 to go. I mean, they have some firepower. Yeah, I mean, they have some spurt ability. They can hit you in waves.
42-11. They have outscored St. Francis since St. Francis had their lead of 4 points earlier. It's been an explosion in the second half. But the defense and the rebounding have keyed this thing. Xavier Brown scrapes that one up. There's Pack. Better run him off the 3-point line. Looked like Wicks had him tied up, and he did. Possession arrow stays on this end with the Sooners with 5 minutes to go. Nigel Pack. Kansas State and then Miami, his prior 2 stops on his collegiate journey. He was first team All-Big 12 at K-State back in 2022. And then the 3 years at Miami where he went to the Final 4 on that team with Jim Larinaga, the now retired great head coach for whom you coached.
Yes, I did. Lucky enough to be an assistant to Coach Larinaga. And he is an excellent coach, as you said. He got a lot out of Nigel Pack, as Coach Porter Moser will as well. And prior to that, it was Coach Bruce Weber at Kansas State. So he's been around. He knows. He's learned a few things in his time.
Those
Chad.
guys have all been to the Final 4. Weber, Porter Moser, and Coach L.
And they know good players there. They know guys that can help you get there. And he is one of those. He's just a guy that, and you and I laughed. We were talking the other day. You know, he's been around so long. He's a 6-year guy. And finish my thought is, Kowal makes another
you know
one.
where that one's going.
I thought that one may be going in, so I was going to see it. Hey, but Nigel Pack is that guy, you know, he just kind of looks like that old guy that rolls into the rec center, and he might have on some old school gear, and he's over there doing some yoga stretches, and then the next thing you know, you're like, who's this guy? That guy give you 20. That is what Nigel Pack is.
And he's saying, who wants next?
This is the baseline drive. Drift to the corner. Thought Reed could have probably set a screen. Yes, he did. A little Patrick Mahomes. We said earlier that was a no-look Patrick Mahomes football pass to the corner. And next thing you know, Attack doing what he does. And the rim has grown, and the Sooners are setting on 90.
No, we were watching practice. We came in to the gym a couple of days ago, and right there in that corner where Kowal Attack just hit that 3, there was a dollar sign in green tape right there on that spot.
That's the money spot.
Telling you can earn yourself a lot of money if you can be 6'9" and make that shot consistently.
That is the money shot right there, Chad. And when 22 was letting it fly, chalk him up. He's sitting on 16 right now.
4 of 7 from the 3 line in his Oklahoma debut. His Kowal Attack. Oklahoma leading by 28 as we approach the under 4 timeout. Wankwo finishes and earns a little bang as well. He'll go to the foul line when we come back from break. Oklahoma putting this one away, leading the opener by 3 when they led by 1 at halftime. When they had the chance to go get him, They did so, but that 2023, what a sweet memory they've got.
You're talking about a guy, Cam Tweedy. He had 10.6 rebounds. And again, I'm getting old, Chad, but I can still remember what it feels like to make a few buckets and win an NCAA tournament game.
Yeah.
And so he'll never forget that for the remainder of his life. And, you know, earned him a chance to be a captain here at St. Francis. That's one of the things that Coach McConnell talked about. Was like, this guy's one of the captains of our squad just because he's been around and he brings it every day and helps lead this group. Doing a little tap dancing in there, doing a Fred Astaire in the paint.
David Brown picks the pocket of Brandon Russell. Glides the other way. And an easy look for Tate Davis up top.
Sooners can do it so well in transition. So many long, lanky athletes. And Coach Porter Moser talked about wanting to add length and athleticism to his group because he felt like they were the small end of the SEC last year. And this group looks like an SEC group right now.
Brandon Russell lines up that three. You can prepare for something like entering the SEC, but you had no way of knowing they'd have 14 NCAA tournament teams. And until you face those teams night in and night out, you don't have a complete idea of what your roster needs to look like. Oklahoma has quickly adjusted to that. They had a lot of guys in the 6'1", 6'2" range. So even Jeremiah Fears, who was incredible, it's about 6'3", 6'3 and a half, and they've adapted with this group. They certainly look the part.
They are long, they're rangy, they have shot makers, they have some decision-making guys. They have three guys, as I said earlier, they can play on the ball as well as off the ball. So you can kind of mix up your lineups and do some different things. And I mean, we're talking right now, it's 50-18 in the second half, Jack.
Yeah, they're playing without Kai Rogers tonight, who's a freshman from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, who is going to be back very soon. And his teammate is also on this roster, but he is a true 6'11" with a wingspan. Nwankwo punches this one home to put the exclamation point on an Oklahoma opening win.
And Chad, to finish your thought on Kai Rogers, I watched the game that they played, that exhibition against Wisconsin, and holy cow, was he an impressive young fella. The red flash gets in and gets the money. But just a long, lanky, 7'4" wingspan,
yeah.
Shot block. He had 3 block shots in about a span of 45 seconds. And I mean, it was the most impressive pogo stick, high jumping off the floor. Just something that Porter said they have not had this entire time here in Norman. So, and then to see him in person the other day was even more impressive after watching him on video.
There's Alec Blair, who's got the rebound. This guy's also going to be a baseball player for Skip Johnson at Oklahoma. Swinging over to try to block that shot, Brandon Russell, but he'll send Xavier Brown to the foul line. I said blocks. Yes, it has been.
Welcome to the Lloyd Noble Block Party. Our DJ is Mo Wagee, and he brought a few guys along with him because he's hanging out, putting his elbows on the rim, and Kawal Attack said, I'll join the party.
Nigel Pack's been the hype man tonight in the block party.
3 of them himself by the shortest guy on the Sooner roster.
But Mo Wagee, what a performance from him tonight.
I mean, he is one of those guys that, I mean, his energy level and his effort, I said, sometimes one man can make a majority, right? His energy and defensive hustle and effort, I mean, it just spreads. It's so contagious. And Porter's going to ask him to do that all season long. Maybe not to have all those same blocks, but just to come with that effort. And guys will feed off of him.
That one batted out of bounds to stay on this end. Oklahoma, in addition to, as we were talking about, Kai Rogers being out tonight, he'll be back soon. They'll also get Jadon Jones in, and they're excited about him. He's a Long Beach State transfer. Didn't play last year because of injury, and he's a little injured tonight. They'll get him back too. So they'll add those 2 guys to what already looks like a potent lineup after what we've seen tonight.
Well, and Jadon Jones, speaking on him, Chad, the Long Beach State transfer, he's a lefty 3-and-D guy. Made 77 threes at Long Beach from the behind that 3-point arc. And guess what? He's an all-league caliber defender when he was playing at Long Beach State. So you're going to get another long, lanky, rangy guy to add to this mix. And a few steps right there by the young fella Attack.
but he got it. And more Sooner defense. Oklahoma has now forced 13 turnovers by St. Francis. And Kowalata continues his stunning debut. Now got 18. In fact, that leads all the Sooners tonight. Oklahoma over the century mark and a 37-point lead. Hard to believe this was a one-point game at halftime. And St. Francis led by 4 at the 18-20 mark.
56-20, Chad, the second half. I mean, 56 points by this Sooner bunch. And then not to, play this down, they held St. Francis to 20.
Yep.
I mean, that's even as impressive as scoring 56 is to lock in on the defensive end and hold a team that was playing with a lot of confidence on the offensive end to 20 points in the second half.
I would bet that 20 in the second half will make that man happier than the 101 points total they've scored.
I don't know if I can tell by looking at him right now, though, but yeah, I think you're right. Coaches always coach, Chad. That's
yes,
one of those things. Coaches coach all the way through. They're going to coach. And Coach Moser is one of those guys that he is going to coach his group until that buzzer goes off.
There's Jake Hansen, who has come in also from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. We talked about Kai Rogers, who will make his debut at some point. They were high school teammates, and they are now Sooner teammates. Well, hop, skip, and a jump there for Russell, but he draws a foul. 20 seconds left. Oklahoma will be facing number 20 Gonzaga Saturday at Spokane Arena. It is an off-campus game. It's not at the Dog Pound, but that's a 9:30 Central Time start. That is going to be fun to watch on Saturday. Take a break from all that football watching. Oklahoma has the week off football-wise. The Porter Moser Sooners will contest the Gonzaga Bulldogs.
I'm going to have to drink some caffeine.
Yes.
Say it's a 9:30 p.m. Central tip.
It would be tipping off right about now if today were Saturday.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely need some caffeine.
For your reference, Pooh.
I'm going to need a little caffeine, but I will be dialed in and watching the Sooners on Saturday night.
Fans applaud the effort, in particular in the second half. Oklahoma outscores St. Francis by 37 in half number 2, and they cruise to a 36-point win in the season opener between a couple of teams that played in the Big Dance a season ago. Moser shaking hands with all those guys on the other side. 5 Sooners in double figures, led by the 18 from Kowalata. Davis, Pack, McGee, and Brown had 16 apiece. A double-double with the blocks by Mo McGee tonight. He had